Vromy, the Honorable Miklos Hitterson, Secretary General of the Ministry of Vromy, Mr. Lewis Brown, Head of the Department of New Works, Project Manager for this project, Mr. Kurt Ruan, representatives of the non-governmental organizations, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Cedric Peterson on behalf of the Department of Communication, on behalf, of course, the Ministry of Vromy. Welcome to today's press conference that deals with the Home and Roof Repair Program, a collaborative effort between the government of St. Martin, of course, respective NGOs when it comes to this particular project. For more on this initiative, at this time, I invite the Minister of Vromy, the Honorable Miklos Hitterson, to address you.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Good afternoon to all present, and the press, and audience members viewing and listening. Vromy's roof repair program is scheduled to start on the first 4 homes this week. The 4 recipients of this relief are pensioners and mentally challenged applicants. A delay was experienced as we changed from purchasing the materials from overseas to purchasing them locally, which will have a positive effect on our local economy. Last week, Monday, I met with most NGOs to discuss and be updated on the progress thus far. And today we meet again in this press conference to inform the general public on the status thus far. On my right, I have SG Secretary General, Mr. Lewis Brown, and on my left, the head of new projects and team leader of the home/roof repair project, Mr. Kurt Ruan, who will now update you on government's status of the roof repair program. Thanks.
Good afternoon. Protocol has been established. Since this program kicked off, this far, approximately 560 applicants has requested assistance. The list started out with in the emergency phase, and it is always, I like to break it down in 3 phases. After the hurricane struck St. Martin and everyone was devastated, that is called, among parties, the emergency phase. Right now we are in the recovery phase, and then eventually we goes into the reconstruction phase. As a result of the emergency phase, some 950 plus applicants came to the government building and requested assistance in one form or the other. I mean, let it be by means of food vouchers, roof repairs, etc. That list has been narrowed down and was screened from applicants who has been insured and uninsured, and it came about that approximately 560 applicants who are seeking government assistance are uninsured, and that group ranges from senior citizens to unemployed and also folks who are mentally challenged. Immediately thereafter, the Ministry of Vromy put a program together, whereas assessment has been carried out, technical assessment teams, because within the ministry there are policy and guidelines. I don't know if one could recall, right after hurricane, people were allowed to build once the home would have been assessed by government, whereas it would have been declared bewoonbaar or onbewoonbaar. That's the system with a B and the O. And with regards to the home repair project, that same approach continues, whereas the technical assessment is being carried out by the Vromy roof repair team. And this far, approximately 170 homes has been technically assessed and found fit to, whereas they meet the criteria of the rebuilding back of the roof. And when I say meet the criteria, because the Council of Ministers has established a policy document in bringing the home back to a livable condition. And there has also been a budget that was targeted to the home in amount of some $20,000, but we are now revisiting that number because certain homes, upon assessing these homes, we have noticed that the damages with regards to the repairs of these homes goes to an excess of up to 25 to $27,000. So that's something that we are, as a team, together with the Honorable Minister Gietersen, we are busy evaluating, and also to make sure that all of those residents that once government undertake a job, it will be taken from the onset and completed in its entirety, that we wouldn't run out of funds or whatsoever. As the process continues with our assessment, also contractors has been approached. They was informed in an open process and has shown their interest. Approximately in the initial phase, based on a public advertisement, some 30 contractors have shown interest. In that list now of those contractors who has been vetted, the list has now narrowed down to some 16. And with the project which is being kicked off, those contractors will be approached and they will be asked in an open process to give us pricing for the homes that we are looking to get moving. So as we move along, I mean, one might say that the government process is taking a little too long, but it is just that we are crossing all T's and dotting all I's to make sure that it is also a transparent process that takes place. And when I say transparent, is because the World Bank is also involved, in the sense that the funds that are being allocated to the roof repair program will be considered reimbursable. So with the funds being reimbursable, there are also procedures and guidelines attached thereto. But nevertheless, as the minister said, this week we are kicking off full force, having the contractors go out and give us quotes and estimations for the relevant homes in order to get moving in together. It's also good to say that we are partnering with the various NGOs that are here, the UNDP, the Red Cross, ADRA, Salvation Army, SMDF. So it's great that to have all of you all on board, in that we all are kicking off at the same pace with the same goal in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for sharing our project with you and the general public. When I walked in this afternoon, and I said jokingly to all present here, welcome partners in crime, I mean positive crime, because I think we came a long way. And we have had a lot of discussions on how to move forward after a huge disaster like this. And you know, we had our last meeting on Friday, and I think that we can say that we are moving forward. And like Mr. Ruan said, maybe not at the pace that we all wanted, but I am very confident that we will get there. So from the point of perspective of the White and Yellow Cross, as incorporated in its name, it has made caring for the most vulnerable people in our community its core aim for the last 50 years. They just recently, last Friday, they celebrated the 50-year anniversary. Now, Hurricane Irma and Maria put a very different perspective, where immediate action was needed, as core health care was even more challenged with the lack of basic needs such as water, food, clothing, and a livable home. During and after the hurricane, the district nursing team and other staff were at the homes of clients. Some of them, they were actually there for 48 or 72 hours because they couldn't go on the road. So they gave a tremendous lot of help. But the White and Yellow Cross realized the urgent need to set up and apply for a middle-term recovery project with the vision that basic care for the elderly and the physically and mentally challenged living at home can only be achieved if there's a minimum of core living condition. And in this case, this means a home that is safe and dry. So that made the White and Yellow Cross board and management decide to write a project application to the Dutch government requesting early relief financial assistance. So 3 projects were submitted, where the first project was targeted towards the reconstruction of 45 homes for the most vulnerable clients under the care of White and Yellow Cross. After the project approval at the end of 2017, White and Yellow Cross and its partners are really happy and proud, actually, to announce that the project is on the right track. They have done a social assessment with all its 200 living home clients and a total of 80 follow-up technical assessments, taking into account, like Mr. Ruan said, a number of specific criteria like income, pension, living circumstance, extent of damage. You cannot repair a house for $200,000 because then we only can repair 3 or 4 houses. So you have to become very specific on that. So the 45 houses were projected, but after having done the first assessments, we can do a few more, so we're gonna add it to 50. So right now, at this moment, 4 houses are completed and 12 are currently under construction, and in the upcoming 3 or 4 months, we will make it to 50 homes instead of the 45. The nice thing is that the execution of this project in home repair is supported by the retraining, another project that was granted by the Dutch government. That's a retraining construction project, so we have 23 excited students in training. Most of them came from the tourism and the restaurant industry. And we are actually using them already, and they are a welcome addition to the home recovery program, whereby even the trainees go a step further, and we also combine other funding for NGOs, where these trainees also assist NGOs in getting back when it comes to rebuilding their office and their facilities, so the NGOs, other NGOs can also profit of this retraining. So we would like to express our thanks to the Dutch government, the staff, the contractors, the government, the clients for sharing. I mean, it's not easy to share as a client when you're already vulnerable to actually share and become very open-minded in sharing with strange people your personal issues. And therefore, I would like to thank the Sint Maarten community in entrusting us and White and Yellow Cross with that care and all the collaboration that we have received so far.
I now invite the representative of the Red Cross, Michaela Riza Sanchez, head of mission, to present next.
The Red Cross has been engaged since the very first phases of the emergency with the relief phase, and then now in the recovery phase with 3 programs. I will just limit myself now here to the house reconstruction program. The house reconstruction program of the Red Cross is targeting 2,000 households affected by the Hurricane Irma to reconstruct better and stronger. The program is implemented in 9 areas, agreed with the government and with the coordination of the other organizations working in reconstruction. In these areas, the Red Cross has already got a list of potential vulnerable households, list obtained by the community-based organizations and community councils, and now an assessment is going on door to door. Our teams, social teams and technical teams, are visiting each household to determine eligibility and vulnerability criteria, and to provide technical guidelines to the families on how to better reconstruct, and together with them to prepare a bill of quantity of the material needed for the reconstruction. With this bill of quantity, the families will be able to have the material for free. I would like to stress here the fact that families play a core role in our program. The Red Cross can provide technical guidance, can provide material, can provide support where the families are not able to cope by themselves, but each family is at the end the manager of his own reconstruction project. There are no constructors involved. This, we believe, is one of the best ways to ensure self-reliance within the community, ability to cope with the disaster, increase the resilience, and to avoid that communities are just a passive recipient of external aid. Together with the house reconstruction, in each of the 9 areas, a community project will be implemented. Just to give you an example, in the Dutch Quarter will be some improvement to the community council, to the community center, with improved drainage, creating a drainage actually, and providing a generator. We really are grateful to everybody, and we want the community to be part of our program. So this is one of our main focus in this job.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanchez, for your presentation. I now call on the representative of the Salvation Army to address you next, Mr. Donis Lapin and Hank Van Hatten, actually, which will be presenting on behalf of the Salvation Army.
The Salvation Army is in cooperation with EO Metadata in implementing a project of the worth of $300,000, and it's mainly roof repair. The Salvation Army should provide the material, and on other sources we should have labor provided. At the moment we have a three-way approach, and the first approach is that the house owner is providing his own labor, and we are providing the materials. At this moment we have 6 or 7 houses on the way what we are doing with, and on Friday we celebrated the first roof finished completely. The second approach is to cooperate with the ministries of VROMI and as well with VSA, that they will provide labor. We are just on the edge of starting to do that, and I'm really pleased that that finally is kicking off as well. And the third approach is that we try to cooperate with other NGOs, and at the moment very specific with ADRA, so that they can provide the labor and we the materials. Since 2 weeks we get materials ordered and distributed, and as I said already, last Friday we celebrated the first roof to be finished. But we need to crack on, because my time on the island is definitely coming to an end. But the next hurricane season is very close as well, and the people need a roof on their head. Thank you for your attention.
We will now hear from the representative of the UNDP, Mr. Freddie Ostley.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to be here. UNDP is actually a government organization. We're active in more than 150 countries around the world. We have been active in St. Martin for about 4 years, working on topics around national planning. And after Hurricane Irma, we have expanded our presence and our work here. So with thanks to the Dutch government and the Netherlands Recovery Fund, we have received some $2.5 million to implement early recovery work in St. Martin. And that includes debris cleanup, it includes repairing facilities in communities, and working with communities on cash for work in debris cleanup and on repairing community facilities. But it also includes house repairs and roof repairs. And on the latter topic, which is the topic of today, we are glad to share with you that in collaboration with the government of St. Martin, specifically with the Ministry of ROMI, we have prepared tender documents for the repairs. We have done the bid opening today. We'll do the tender evaluation tomorrow, and we should be on the ground with physical works repairing roofs by first week of April. That's our current timeline, and that's what we hope to achieve. Within the $2.5 million that we have for early recovery work, the roof repair program covers about 1.3 million, and depending on the bill of quantities and depending on the average cost per house, we'll see how far that takes us. The target we have now is to achieve the complete repair of about 150 houses, and that, as I said, is done in collaboration with ROMI, and those are houses and roofs that originate in the list that came to ROMI from VSA after the assessment phase. So it's part of the 500 plus houses that the minister and his colleague were mentioning earlier today. So again, thanks a lot to the Dutch government for the opportunity to contribute in St. Martin. Thanks a lot to the government of St. Martin for the collaboration. We are proud to be here, and we enjoy working with all these stakeholders. Thanks a lot.
I now invite the representative of the Adventist Development and Relief Agency to present, the president of this organization, also known as ADRA, Mr. Silvanico Paletta.
ADRA is the humanitarian aid organization of the Seventh-day Adventist Church and is established in over 135 countries and responds worldwide to different calamities, crises, and especially also to after the hurricane struck St. Martin. Immediately there was some international response and several projects became available for St. Martin. Started with food and also other areas, but today I will focus on the roofing repair project. There it was immediately seen that government also needed assistance with data collection, and in that way ADRA assisted the government with making tablets available so that the data collection could have started up. For the rest, volunteers has started to assist countrywide with the roofing. ADRA has also started right away to start looking for donors to assist with material. And we have material on the way, and we are still looking for more material to assist. Also, we have already repaired some roofs with material that has been made available, and we are very happy also to announce that we have different partners that are willing to collaborate with us. Hereby I would like to especially mention the Salvation Army, with whom we have started, and we're looking forward to start the first collaborated home. As mentioned, ADRA has from the beginning been looking forward to collaborating, because at the end of the day, the disaster that hit St. Martin is bigger than any organization, is bigger than any family. So we're looking forward to work together. And that being said, we are busy right now prioritizing to see who are the most vulnerables. As you may know, a lot of senior citizens are being helped at the moment, but next to that, we are also looking to identify the other vulnerable groups, like those who are unemployed, and also the single parents with little children. And there are many others also who are vulnerable that needs the help. Therefore, anybody that would like to volunteer a Sunday or another day is welcome to contact ADRA. You can find us on Facebook, and also you can call us on 554-8334. I repeat, 554-8334, and donate some time and your skills to help those in need.
Our final speaker to address you this afternoon, I invite to the podium, representing the St. Martin Development Fund, the Managing Director, Mr. Keith Franca.
Our project commenced in March last year, and our project is specifically for the seniors. And I want to make it abundantly clear that our project is not a roof repair project, but our project was forthcoming from a study that was done in 2013 as to the needs of the elderly. To establish the needs of the elderly, we interviewed 34 different organizations at St. Martin, all the community councils, and obtained basic needs that the elderly needs. Transportation was one of those, some repair to homes, transportation in terms of wheelchair, walking canes, nutrition, etc. In the inventory of needs, we ended up with 75 homes that needed repairs. And of course, Irma changed those repairs into major repairs. So at least 50% of the homes received serious damage, and the funds that we received from the Dutch government were the remaining funds of an organization similar to us called AMFO, and the Dutch government immediately assisted with additional funds so we could execute the repairs. We commenced repairs in December. We executed contracts November 30th, and we basically are completing the 23 homes the first phase, and we're about to start with the 77 additional homes, which we call Phase 2. And we have completed, of course, since last year, July, social assessments, and we also conducted social assessments after the hurricane. We have done the technical assessments, so we know the cost for each home, and our program is not limited to only the roof or the windows, but everything that pertains to the home. We want to, not because he's here, but express appreciation to the Dutch government because they immediately assisted us, and we're actually these days the storefront for people coming because word spreads in St. Martin. I'm delighted that this press conference is happening so the people of St. Martin know, but we have been the storefront where people come and basically try to register to get assistance. So I'm happy that all of us are able to inform the people of St. Martin.
That concludes all our presentations for this afternoon of the non-governmental organizations represented. We want to thank each and every one of you for your presentation. And of course, we look forward to presenting these presentations to the public of St. Martin once our program is finalized and prepared. On behalf of the panel, I'd like to also thank again Minister Hitterson, Secretary General Brown, and of course Project Manager and Head of Project New Works, Mr. Kurt Rouen, for your presentation this afternoon.